Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln pennies that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're going to uncover the hidden value of a coin you might never expect to be worth much, yet it's out there sitting quietly, waiting to make some lucky collector a small fortune. I'm talking about the 1979 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the 1979 Lincoln penny. Stick around until the end of the video, because we're going to reveal just how much this unassuming little coin could actually be worth today. Now, when you think about a penny, you probably think of loose change, something you toss in your jar at the end of the day, or maybe something you barely notice when it falls out of your pocket. But let me tell you, the 1979 penny is much more than just spare change. It's a coin that has quietly gained recognition in the world of coin collecting. But why is this particular penny so valuable? First, let's take a quick dive into the history of the 1979 penny. At the end of the 1970s, the United States was going through some significant changes in its economy. In 1979, the country was grappling with inflation, a rise in energy costs, and a series of shifts in the global market. The U.S. Mint, which was responsible for producing all of the country's coinage, was also transitioning in terms of production techniques and coin designs. That year marked the end of the 1970s, a pivotal moment that set the stage for the next decade of coinage in America. The 1979 penny, which was part of the regular circulating coinage, has the traditional design featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It's a coin that carries a lot of symbolic weight, both in terms of its design and its place in U.S. history. Now, the 1979 penny might seem like just another penny at first glance, but there's something special about it. Most 1979 pennies are quite common, and you can find them in circulation even today. However, what sets certain examples apart and elevates their value is their rarity and condition. A 1979 penny in good condition might not be worth much more than its face value, just 1 cent, but here's where things get interesting. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, or those with rare minting errors, can fetch much higher prices from collectors. This is where the excitement begins. For instance, one of the more valuable versions of the 1979 penny is a 1979 double die obverse penny. This error occurred during the minting process, when the coin was struck twice, causing the image of Lincoln's profile to appear blurry or doubled. This double die error, often seen in the inscriptions and Lincoln's portrait, can make the coin look like it's been duplicated. Collectors love error coins, especially double die coins, because they are incredibly rare and unique. So, how much could a 1979 penny with a double die error be worth? Well, the value of this error coin can vary depending on its condition, but it's not uncommon to see it selling for thousands of dollars, especially if it's in near mint or gem quality state. And if you find one in unopened rolls of pennies from the 1979 year? Well, you could be looking at a windfall. Aside from mint errors, another factor that can increase the value of the 1979 penny is its low mintage numbers. Although the 1979 penny was produced in large quantities, some specific mint marks have a lower mintage than others. For example, pennies minted in San Francisco, with the S mint mark, especially those with proof finishes, have become highly sought after by collectors. These coins were made in smaller quantities compared to those minted in Philadelphia or Denver, making them a bit rarer. So, what does all this mean for you? If you've got a collection of pennies, whether they're stored in jars, coin albums, or just hanging around your house, take a closer look at your 1979 pennies. You might have a hidden gem without even knowing it. Look for those double die errors, check for a mint mark, and if you've got one in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a valuable piece of history. Now, I know you're wondering, how much can a 1979 penny with a double die error or in exceptional condition really be worth? Well, it can be worth quite a bit more than you might think. In fact, depending on its rarity, condition, and whether it has any minting errors, it's possible that your 1979 penny could fetch as much as $55,000. Yes, you heard that right, $55,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something as simple as a 1979 Lincoln penny could be worth so much, but that's the magic of coin collecting. Even the smallest coins can carry a lot of value if you know what to look for. So, if you happen to have a 1979 penny lying around, or if you find one at a coin shop, garage sale, or thrift store, take a second to check it over. The value could be much higher than you ever imagined. You never know, your spare change might just be worth a small fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future coin discoveries. If you've got a 1979 penny that you think might be valuable, let us know in the comments below. Top 2, we've got an exciting discovery for you, a coin that may be sitting right under your nose, tucked away in a jar or hidden in your pocket change, just waiting to make you a small fortune. I'm talking about the 1987 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the 1987 Lincoln penny. While most people may pass by this coin without giving it a second thought, there's a surprising amount of value hidden in this small, seemingly ordinary piece of currency. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be shocked to learn just how much this penny could actually be worth. Before we dive into the specifics of its value, let's take a step back and talk about the 1987 penny and the historical context behind it. The 1980s was a transformative decade for the United States. The country was experiencing significant economic changes, including inflation and a booming stock market. Politically, Ronald Reagan was in office, steering the nation through the tail end of the Cold War. During this time, the U.S. Mint was continuing its work of producing coins for everyday use, with a focus on maintaining the integrity and circulation of U.S. currency. The 1987 penny was part of that ongoing production, designed by Victor David Brenner, who created the iconic Lincoln cent. For nearly 100 years, the design featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse had remained unchanged. This coin is essentially a snapshot of a pivotal moment in American history, a time when coins were still made primarily of copper, with the change to zinc-based pennies only a few years away. But here's the thing about the 1987 penny, most of them are fairly common. They were minted in large quantities and circulated widely. So, what makes some of these coins particularly valuable? Well, like many other coins, the value of the 1987 penny depends largely on two factors: its condition and its rarity. Most of the 1987 pennies you'll encounter will be in average, worn-out condition, with visible signs of circulation. And, while these coins are still good for their face value, they don't hold much more than 1 cent. However, here's where things get exciting: rarity and condition can make all the difference. While the majority of the 1987 pennies are common, there are some specific errors and special versions that can make them worth a lot more to collectors. And, as with any coin, rarity is key. Let's talk about one of the most sought-after versions of the 1987 penny, the 1987 double-die penny. This error occurs when a coin is struck more than once during the minting process, creating a doubled image on the coin. For the 1987 penny, this error can appear in a few key places: on the date, the word liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust." If you have a 1987 penny with doubled lettering or a doubled date, you've got yourself a potential treasure. Collectors are always on the lookout for these kinds of minting errors because they're relatively rare and make the coin unique. Additionally, high-grade 1987 pennies, those that have been kept in excellent condition, are also valuable. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear and tear, are prized by collectors because they're harder to find. A mint-state 1987 penny, which shows no signs of wear and retains its original luster, could fetch a much higher price than a penny that's been circulating for decades. In fact, pristine examples of the 1987 penny in uncirculated condition are highly desirable in the world of coin collecting. Now, you might be wondering just how much a 1987 penny could be worth. A typical 1987 penny in good condition might only be worth its face value, just 1 cent. However, for those of you who happen to stumble upon a 1987 penny with a double die error or in mint condition, you could be looking at a much higher price. Error coins, especially ones that are in great condition, can attract serious buyers who are willing to pay top dollar. So, what's the actual worth of this elusive 1987 penny? Well, depending on the rarity of the error, the condition of the coin, and whether it has any unique features, the value of a 1987 penny can range from a few dollars to potentially $49,000 if you've got a particularly rare and well-preserved example. Yes, you heard that right, $49,000 for a single 1987 penny. This might sound unbelievable, but it's true. Some of these rare, error-filled coins are fetching incredible amounts of money at auctions and among collectors. So, next time you're looking through your pocket change or digging through a jar of old coins, remember that humble little 1987 penny could be a hidden gem waiting to make you a small fortune. If you've got a 1987 penny or any other old coins lying around, it's worth taking a second look. Check for minting errors like double dies, and inspect the coin's condition carefully. Even coins that seem to be in poor shape could have some value if they have unique characteristics or were produced in limited quantities. If you find one of these rare error coins, you could be sitting on a serious collector's item. Top 3, we're diving into a fascinating discovery that might be sitting right in your pocket change, ready to make you a small fortune. You might be surprised to learn that the 1992 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the 1992 Lincoln penny, holds a secret that most people overlook. While it might look like just another ordinary penny, there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much this simple coin could actually be worth. The 1992 penny is often seen as just another piece of everyday currency, and for the most part, you'd be right. After all, it was minted in large quantities as part of the regular series of U.S. pennies that were produced and circulated at the time. However, if you take a closer look at this coin, particularly certain versions of it, you'll find that it holds value far beyond its face value. And in the world of coin collecting, where rarity and condition are everything, a 1992 penny could be worth a lot more than you'd ever expect. Before we talk about the value of the 1992 penny, let's take a moment to understand its background. The 1992 penny was minted during a time of economic transition in the United States. The country was coming out of a recession in the early 90s, and the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins to meet the needs of a growing economy. At the time, the penny still featured the classic Lincoln portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, which had been in use since 1909. On the reverse side, you'll find the familiar Lincoln Memorial, which was also part of the design for several decades. The coin's simple design and relatively low production numbers meant that, like most pennies, it would be spent and forgotten about by most people. However, in the world of coin collecting, there are always hidden treasures to be found. What makes the 1992 penny special and valuable is its rarity and the potential minting errors that occurred during production. While most of the pennies produced that year are still common and worth just 1 cent, a few key versions of the 1992 penny can bring in significant amounts of money. The most notable of these is the 1992 double die obverse penny. This rare error occurs when the coin is struck more than once during the minting process, causing the image of Lincoln and the inscriptions on the coin to appear doubled or misaligned. The double strike can make the date, Liberty, or the phrase "In God We Trust" look blurry or even completely duplicated. Error coins like this are incredibly valuable to collectors because they are a product of flawed production, making them unique. Even the slightest minting error can transform an otherwise ordinary penny into a prized collector's item. The 1992 doubled die penny is one of those coins that many collectors seek out, and if you're lucky enough to find one, you could be holding a coin worth much more than you might have imagined. So, how much could a 1992 penny with a double die error be worth? Well, the value can vary depending on the condition of the coin and how pronounced the error is. Coins that are in mint condition, meaning they have been well preserved and have little to no signs of wear, can fetch significantly higher prices than those in poor condition. Some of these double die pennies have been sold for thousands of dollars at auctions and online marketplaces, and the more dramatic the error, the higher the potential value. Aside from the double die error, another factor that can affect the value of a 1992 penny is its overall condition. Even if the coin doesn't have any obvious minting errors, a well-preserved 1992 penny, one that's been carefully stored and remains in pristine, uncirculated condition, can still hold value for collectors. Coins in high grades, such as MS-65 or higher, are often sought after because they are harder to find in perfect condition. This is especially true for coins from the early 1990s, as they were frequently used in circulation and didn't often survive in mint condition. Now, let's get to the big question: how much could a 1992 penny really be worth? As with all rare and valuable coins, the price can vary based on factors like condition, rarity, and any minting errors. But if you happen to have a 1992 penny in pristine condition or with a double die error, you could potentially sell it for a staggering $43,000. Yes, that's $43,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, right? But in the world of rare coins, this is a real possibility, especially for a coin as unique and sought after as the 1992 double die penny. So, next time you're looking through your spare change or going through an old jar of coins, don't just toss aside any 1992 pennies you come across. Take a closer look, inspect the date, liberty, and in God we trust for any signs of doubling or errors. Even if the coin looks a little worn, it could still have some hidden value. If you find one in good condition, you may just have a small fortune sitting in your hands. Top 4, we've got a special coin to talk about, one that may be sitting in your collection or even in your pocket change right now, and you might not even realize just how valuable it is. We're diving into the world of the 1982 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the 1982 Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking: a penny is just a penny, right? But hold on, because this particular coin has a surprising story to tell. If you've ever wondered about the true value of your old coins, especially the ones that seem like they're worth nothing, this video is for you. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. The 1982 penny might seem like a typical coin you see every day. After all, it was minted in large quantities and circulated widely throughout the United States. In fact, over 7 billion of these pennies were produced that year. But there's something unique about this particular year that makes it stand out in the world of coin collecting, something that could make your 1982 penny worth much more than just 1 cent. To understand why the 1982 penny is so valuable, we need to take a quick look at the history of U.S. coins during that time. The early 1980s were a time of change in the U.S. economy, with inflation rising and the country adjusting to new fiscal policies. For the first time in decades, the composition of the penny was altered. Prior to 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper, but by the time the U.S. Mint started striking coins for 1982, there was a shift in the materials used. As copper prices soared, the mint began producing pennies with a core of zinc and a copper-plated exterior. This change in composition created two types of pennies in 1982, the copper penny and the zinc penny. The copper pennies are slightly heavier, weighing about 3.11 grams, while the zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. This shift in composition was a major deal at the time, and it's one of the reasons why the 1982 penny is so important to collectors today. The problem is, most people didn't notice the difference when the coins were being minted, and they were just spending them as usual. But when it comes to coin collecting, rarity and condition are key, and there are certain 1982 pennies that have become incredibly valuable. Let's talk about one of the most valuable versions of the 1982 penny, the 1982 copper penny. As I mentioned, the mint switched to zinc-based pennies that year, but there were still a few copper pennies produced before the transition was completed. These copper pennies are extremely rare because the vast majority of 1982 pennies were made from zinc. Finding a copper 1982 penny today is like finding a needle in a haystack, and that's what makes it so valuable. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. The 1982 copper penny has become highly sought after by collectors, especially those in uncirculated condition. A penny that's been well preserved, with minimal wear, is worth far more than one that's been used in circulation for decades. But, finding one of these coins in mint condition can be difficult, and it's the reason why these rare copper pennies have skyrocketed in value. Many of them have been lost over time, and most of the ones that are left show signs of heavy wear, but there's more. Just like with other rare coins, errors can make the value of a 1982 penny soar. One of the most valuable varieties of the 1982 penny is the double die error, which occurs when a coin is struck twice during the minting process. This error can create a noticeable doubling of the date or letters on the coin. If you happen to have a 1982 double die penny, you might be holding onto a collector's dream. The double die error is rare and highly sought after by serious numismatists, making these coins incredibly valuable in the market. So, how much can a 1982 penny really be worth? Well, the value can vary greatly depending on its condition, whether it's a copper penny or a zinc penny, and if it has any rare minting errors. A typical 1982 zinc penny in average condition is worth just 1 cent, but the 1982 copper penny? That's where things get interesting. If you have a 1982 copper penny in excellent condition, or even better, an uncirculated one, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But wait, there's more. If your 1982 penny happens to have one of those rare double die errors, or if it's in mint state, the value could climb even higher. In fact, depending on the rarity of the error and the quality of the coin, some collectors are paying up to $47,000 for a single 1982 copper penny with a double die error. Yes, you heard that right, $47,000 for a single penny. It might sound unbelievable, but in the world of coin collecting, this is completely possible. Coins with rare errors and in perfect condition are worth their weight in gold, sometimes even more. So, what should you do if you think you found a valuable 1982 penny? Start by carefully examining it. Check the weight. Copper pennies will be slightly heavier than their zinc counterparts. If it looks like it's in excellent condition, it's worth getting it professionally graded to determine its value. Look for any signs of doubled lettering or other errors that might increase its worth. If you happen to find a 1982 copper penny with a double die error, or if you've already got one in your collection, congratulations. You could be sitting on a small fortune. Top 5, and last rare coin, we're diving deep into the world of one of the most overlooked coins in American currency, the 1990 United States 1-cent coin, better known as the 1990 Lincoln penny. You might be thinking, it's just a penny, but hold on, because this seemingly simple coin could be worth far more than its face value. In fact, if you've got the right kind of 1990 penny, you could be holding onto a rare treasure that might just be worth thousands of dollars. So, stick around as we explore the value and rarity of the 1990 penny and find out exactly what makes it so special. Let's start with a little bit of background about the 1990 penny. Like most pennies from the late 20th century, this coin features the iconic Abraham Lincoln portrait designed by Victor David Brenner on the obverse, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The 1990 penny was minted during a time when the U.S. economy was experiencing a period of growth after the 1980s recession. At the time, the penny was still primarily made from copper-plated zinc, a composition that had been in use since the 1982 changeover from pure copper to a more cost-effective metal. In terms of quantity, the 1990 penny was produced in massive numbers. Over 7 billion of these coins were minted that year. So, from a circulation standpoint, it's not exactly rare to come across a 1990 penny. However, as is often the case in the world of coin collecting, the rarity and value of a coin depend on a few important factors, such as condition, errors, and even the minting process itself. While most of the 1990 pennies you'll encounter are likely to be in average or worn condition, there are certain rare versions and mistakes that can make this coin worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. Now, what's the first thing you should look for when checking if your 1990 penny is valuable? Let's talk about minting errors. Errors are what make certain coins incredibly rare and desirable to collectors. Even a small flaw or misstrike can dramatically increase a coin's value. The 1990 penny is no exception, and one of the most common and sought-after errors is the double die. This occurs when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design to be doubled or misaligned. On the 1990 penny, this can show up in a few key areas: the date, the word liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust." If you happen to come across a 1990 penny with a double die error, you could be holding a highly valuable coin. Collectors love error coins because they're unique and can't be found in the regular circulation. A double die 1990 penny could fetch a significant price on the market, especially if the error is clearly visible. Another thing to consider is the condition of your penny. As with all coins, the better the condition, the more valuable the coin. A 1990 penny that has been well preserved and remains in mint state will definitely be worth more than a coin that has been circulated for decades and shows heavy signs of wear. If your coin has been kept in a safe place, free from damage, scratches, or tarnishing, it could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. A high-grade 1990 penny in excellent condition might not have a major error but could still bring in a pretty penny, pun intended. There's also another factor at play when it comes to the 1990 penny, and that's the scarcity of certain versions. While the 1990 penny was produced in large quantities, finding one in unblemished, uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly rare. Many of the pennies from that year have been passed around, spent, and subjected to years of wear and tear. As a result, uncirculated examples are highly coveted by collectors. If you're lucky enough to find a 1990 penny that has been kept in pristine condition, it could be worth a lot more than you might think. And if your 1990 penny happens to be one of the rare error varieties, its value could increase exponentially. So, how much can a 1990 penny really be worth? Here's the exciting part: while a regular 1990 penny might be worth just 1 cent, if you happen to find a double die error penny, or an uncirculated coin in mint condition, the value can go up significantly. In fact, some of these error coins have been known to sell for thousands of dollars, and in rare cases, even more. For instance, if you've got a 1990 penny with a double die error, especially one with a noticeable doubled date or doubled lettering, it could be worth as much as $42,000. Yes, that's $42,000 for a single penny. It's not just a hypothetical value either. Coins with these types of errors have been known to sell at auctions and online marketplaces for amounts like this. So, next time you're digging through your change or flipping through your coin collection, take a second to examine those 1990 pennies closely. Look for signs of a double die error or any other unusual minting flaws. Even if your penny looks like it's been through the ringer, don't discount it, especially if it's in good shape or has an error you didn't notice at first glance. And if you find a 1990 penny that fits the bill, you could be holding onto something worth much, much more than just 1 cent. If you found this video helpful or exciting, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any future coin discoveries. Have you ever found a rare penny or another valuable coin? Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting out there.